Hi, my name is Lori, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make Eech, an Armenian side dish. So Eech is very nutritious. It also has a lot of fibers and it is vegan. You can eat it as a side dish when it is warm and freshly made, or you can store it in your fridge and eat it as a snack when it's colder. So the ingredients you're going to need to make this is 1 cup olive oil, 1.5 cups of bulgur. So we're using bulgur, it's cracked wheat, and it is the number 1, so it is the finest version there is. And then a juice from 1 lemon, 1 medium-sized yellow onion, 3 tablespoons of pepper paste, 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, 2 cups of loosely packed parsley leaves, half a teaspoon pepper, and 1 teaspoon salt. And the tools you're going to be needing is a cutting board, a tablespoon measurement, measuring cups to measure your ingredients, a juicer for your lemon, and a knife. Okay, so now we're going to prepare our fresh ingredients first. So we're gonna first juice our lemon. So should be pretty easy, cutting it in half. And then we're gonna use our juicer. And just make sure you get all the juice out of the lemon. The more juice, the better. So it's okay if the seeds come out as long as you take it out before you put it in the pot. It's okay. But we're gonna make sure we get all that juice out, pressing it against the sides. Then we're gonna move on to the next one. So now that we're done with our lemons, we're gonna set this juice aside for later. And same with the lemons. And we're gonna start by chopping our onion. So first we're gonna chop off the sides because we're not gonna eat that part. Chop this side. And now we can peel our onion because it's easier to peel, take off all the layers. Okay. Oh my God, I'm already starting to cry. Oh my God. Oh, the tears. Oh man. I can't. So how we're gonna cut this onion is right down the middle. Okay. Then lay the flat sides down. And if you do tend to get a little sensitive around the onions, it's okay. I do too, as you saw. So it's okay to take a little break from cutting the onions. But we're basically gonna cut it into 5 parts, 5 or 6 here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're gonna turn it around and then cut it this way. So and make it even smaller. Okay. So now this is cut. I'm gonna set it off to the side and do the other half. So we finished chopping all the onions and now we're gonna move on to the parsley. So just in case if you don't know how to stem the parsley, all you're gonna do really is just only take bit of the stem, and mostly the leaves is what you want because that's where all the flavor is. So you're just gonna do that. And now it is time to chop the parsley. So all this parsley is washed. Make sure you wash everything before you cook with it. But basically we're going to be chopping this up a little bit because it'll make more. And you can also use a food processor, just lightly, but I like to use my hands. I think I have more control, And if you're having trouble chopping, you can press it together a bit more. Remember to keep your fingers curled so your fingers stay protected from the knife. It's a very helpful tip, so remember to keep that in mind. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think we're ready to move on to the stove. So now we have all our ingredients and we're ready to cook it. So in a pot this size, we're going to put it on medium to medium high heat depending on the strength of your stove. And so put it, and then we're gonna first add our oil. So, and heat up our oil. So there's our oil. Seems pretty good. Okay. And then we're gonna let this heat up a little bit, and then we're gonna add our onions and then saute it. So while we're waiting for the oil to heat up, we're then going to add our onions into the pot, and we're going to saute it until it is a golden color. And then we're going to add our tomato sauce, and then fill the tomato sauce can with water and add that in as well, just to make sure we get all of it, and add some water. And then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of pepper paste. And then once that is all ready, we're gonna add our salt and pepper, and then we're gonna mix it together, and then add our bouillon and also mix that together, and then we're going to wait. And then when it starts to heat up a bit more, starts to bubble a little bit, we turn off the heat, we'll put the lid on, and we'll let it sit and let the bouillon absorb all the liquid. And then once that's done, we're going to add our lemon juice and our parsley, mix it together, and then that'll be our final product. So let's see if the heat. I think it's ready for the onions. So we're gonna just gonna put a bit at a time. Go, adding our onions in the pot. Then we're gonna let this saute for a little bit. And meanwhile, we're going to prepare the rest of our ingredients. Okay, so the onions are in. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit. Okay. And now as we're waiting for our onions to sizzle and saute a little bit more, I want to bring your attention to the apron that I'm wearing right now. So this apron is actually traditional. It consists of traditional Armenian patterns, and you can find these in traditional Armenian clothing or on rugs, and also on this apron. I really like this apron, and it is handmade. So, ooh, look, it's starting to sizzle. And then you can stir it around a little bit. So you can see the smaller ones are already starting to change color a little bit, but the bigger ones are going to take a little bit more time. So we're going to leave it for a little bit more. So checking in on our onion, so we're going to leave that to sizzle. And meanwhile, I'm going to talk about pepper paste. So this is a vegetable spread. It comes in 2 versions, mild or hot. I personally do not like spicy things, so I prefer to use the mild one. And this is made in Bulgaria. There's a bunch of companies that make things similar to this, and depending on how much pepper you want in your Eech, you can use more or less in your recipe. I personally like more pepper, so I'm going to be using 4 tablespoons instead of 3, but it's completely up to your taste. Now we're going to start by pouring in our tomato sauce. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Then we're going to mix it. Okay. And now we're going to add the water to the tomato sauce to make sure we get all of it. Pour the water in. Okay. Then we're going to put it back in. Okay, going to pour part of it in, then swish it around. and then pour the rest of it. There we go. So put this to the side. Gonna mix it. Okay. And now we're gonna add the pepper paste. So I personally like 4 tablespoons. So I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons instead of 3. So it's okay if it's not perfectly exact, but 2. Oops. 3. 4. Okay, we're gonna set this off to the side. Okay, gonna mix this together. And then once this heats up a little bit more, we're gonna add the bulgur, the salt, and the pepper. Okay, so now we're gonna add our pepper, 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, and our salt. Okay, and you can add more or less depending on how much salt or pepper you want in your each. So now that our mixture is starting to come to a boil, you can see there's more bubbles emerging, and so now we're going to add our bulgur or cracked wheat so it can absorb the liquid and cook. 1.5 cups of bulgur to the mixture. Okay. Okay, now we gotta mix it. Yeah. And then once we're done mixing, we're going to leave it until the liquid is absorbed by the bulgur. We personally don't like to put that much salt in our food, but feel free to add more if you would like. So we're going to leave this. And once it starts to boil, then you can turn off the heat, and then it'll start to absorb. Oh look, it's starting to boil. So we're going to turn off the heat. Okay. And now we're going to put a lid on it and let it just soak up. And then we'll get back when it is done soaking up. Okay, so it has been about 20 minutes, so we're going to check in to see how our each is doing. So open the lid. Ooh, look, see, it's absorbed all the liquid. So now we're gonna add the lemon juice. So make sure you don't pour any seeds in. We're gonna pour the lemon juice. Okay, get that in. And then we're gonna mix it. Oh, it looks so good. Make sure you don't rapidly mix. Make sure you're folding it nice and gentle. We're going to add our parsley. So just putting it in, just like that, with our knife. And then we're going to also fold it to make sure parsley is mixed in. Then once we finish mixing it, we can try it and see if we need to add anything. Okay, so now that I'm done, okay, now it is time to taste test. So I've worked, take a little bit. That's really, really good.